Trevor? Yeah? Doing well? Yeah, how are things with you?
Test.
Yeah.
Dom, you ready up there?
No,
Everybody else ready?
Should be pretty chill. Should be
Everybody
pretty
else
chill.
ready? Ah, there we go.
Oh, I'm gonna have to scream into this, aren't I? Just got my voice back. So, are we streaming yet, Dom? All right, we are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Startup TNT, the Investment Summit number 5. Thank you everybody for coming. We're so excited to be here. Well, first thing we want to do is give the land acknowledgement. We are located on the traditional territories of Nipasippi, Blackfoot Confederacy, and the people of the Treaty 7 region of southern Alberta. The city of Calgary is also home to the Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3. So, storytelling is a big part of the land for generations, in Canada and around the world, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to tell stories tonight from 20 great companies. And we are excited to kick that off. We're excited to have it to go, and we are ready to kick this off. Are you guys ready to party tonight a little bit after some pitches?
And even Jordan. Awesome. Well, my name's Neil. I'm one of the leads here in Calgary. Jade and I are taking on that fun responsibility. I've been with Startup TNT informally as an investor for about 2 years. I joined as an investor in the first fall summit in 2020. That was, I guess we met. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. There's a community backbone. There's tons of cool companies in Calgary that we get to support, and there's great founders and supporters and funders, and it's been a lot of fun. And the other guy standing right next to me here is Jade Alberts. I'll let him introduce himself. He'll do better.
Well, I call myself Neil's executive assistant because whatever he tells me to do, I just do. So I'm the founder of Pure Guidance, also an angel investor. We have Founders Coffee, we tell it like it is, and a show that's live every Wednesday at 9:30 to share stories like yourself out there. Also want to give a big shout out to some of our fellow ambassadors. We've got Dave Filio, Trevor's in Disneyland, so he can't be here, and Chris Edwards, he's not here either. So, but we're going to give a quick little shout out anyway because we appreciate all the work that they do. We also want to talk about our partners, and we have some great partners up here, as you can see. So we have our big ones where it's BDC, CBRE, Health City, RBCX. You'll meet some of these people that represent these companies a little bit later. And then we get into our community partners, our summit partners, where we've got great places like this where good shit happens at Platform, Alberta Innovates, Prairie Cans, Deal Closer, you guys read them up there. And then of course we have our community sponsors where these people also help out. They're either investment firms or they're people that have donated and want to give back into the society, into the ecosystem that we have here in Alberta. So we're grateful for all the sponsors that we have, and if you get them tonight, give them a big pat on the back because without them, none of this is possible. So thank you for all of our sponsors.
Okay, now back to the pitch night. It's top 20. We got, this is our 4th summit that we've had that's specifically dedicated to Calgary, and we've consistently put up amazing companies over the last 2.5 years. Can you believe we've only been doing this for 2.5 years? It feels like longer than that some days. So how it works is we get a bunch of investors together, everybody puts in $5K in committed capital. That capital stays right through the end of the 8-week process, and the investors get together weekly for a due diligence and deal screening process. So it's not a pitch night, it's not a Dragon's Den, Shark Tank kind of thing. It's building that community backbone of Startup TNT over 8 weeks where the founders and funders get to really know each other. You get excited. We've never funded less than 2 of the top 5 companies. I think that was the minimum. Sometimes in the top 10. So yeah, so it's a great community impact. It's a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see 20 cool companies today to get this rolling here.
No, absolutely. And even one summit, we funded 6 of the top 5. So go figure there, right? Somebody that wasn't even in the top 5 got funding. We've handed out almost, oh, there's the numbers right there. They're up to date. We've done all over 42 companies, almost $7 million. So we're making an impact on what it is, and it's because of the investors that are here, and obviously, more importantly, the great companies that we have coming out of Alberta, Saskatchewan, and now Manitoba. So we're grateful that you guys allow some of us to invest in you. So thank you for that. And of course, tonight we have 4 companies that are veterans of prior TNT. So we see a lot of that. We see companies that come in here, learn a little bit, maybe not get an investment, but they meet some mentors and other people that are going to help them come back and make the top 5 and win money. So we have 4 companies that have been here before. We also have, and it's not a pitch competition, right? This is, you know, having someone like Mike, who's going to be pitching here tonight, can tell you he's come here. He's taken his company from some, you know, I'm not going to ruin his pitch, but he's really, really growing his company. But you know what he did? He reached out and he asked for help, and we'll talk about some of those people that help later. But that's what it's all about. I always say you get more out of the people that you meet in the community here than any money that you're going to ever receive from Startup TNT and any of the investors. So we're always here to help. We're always here to do it. We also firmly believe that asking for help is not a sign of weakness. So that's one thing that we want to stress. So as we move forward here, always think that if you're here and you're just watching the crowd, or you're watching on, you know, live on YouTube and Twitter or wherever else we're streaming this, you want to help out, reach out. These companies need all kinds of different help, so please feel free. And anyways, like, let's stop talking.
Totally, yeah, we got some pitches to watch. So, but while we're doing this, there's a ton of cool people in the room. So I encourage you all to talk to somebody you haven't met before tonight. Talk to a founder, talk to somebody sitting next to you. TNT stands for Thursday Night Tradition. Is built on community, and the way that we build community is by getting to know all the amazing people in our local ecosystem. So with that being said, I'd like to invite up Dania with RBCX, and she's going to introduce our first pitch, so let's give her a hand.
Hi everyone. Hope everyone's doing great. First of all, I would like to say a big thank you to Startup TNT and Platform Calgary for this lovely partnership and for having us all here. As part of RBCX, I'm an Associate Vice President in the Calgary market, and RBCX is basically a platform that works with startups, technology startups from ideation all the way to IPO. The way we do this is by presenting specialized credit solutions for your needs. We also have a marketplace that allows for a number of different discounts we have sourced with service providers. And lastly, we also get in the trenches with our advisors and our founders. We try to understand your problems, make introductions, and be there with you with the long game. And I will be presenting the first company, Propra Technologies. This is a great property management software built for Canadian landlords and rental property owners. And I would like to invite the founder, Al-Karim Khimji, to come on the stage, please.
Thank you.
Bingo. Go time?
Go time. Another frustrated tenant. Have you seen this before? I've experienced this before. In my 15 years of property management and operations experience, I know this problem firsthand. Landlords spend hours every day responding to requests, managing workflows, using point solutions, and manual processes. There has to be an easier way. I'm Al-Karim. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Propra. At Propra, we have an all-in-one property management solution that's designed to let property managers and landlords run their business from a single browser tab. It's my favorite slide. We are growing fast. In the last 4 months, we have quadrupled our customer count to 17,000 doors. And we have already started onboarding these customers. With our monthly subscription model of $2 per door per month, that represents $34,000 in MRR. We're building on my background in property management and time at McKinsey, where I changed the course of companies. And my co-founder, Craig, his experience at Skip the Dishes, where he scaled the technology to what it is today. Serving landlords and their residents is a $25 billion market in North America alone. We expect to build on this traction and hit a 200K MRR in the next 18 months. Propra automates property management so that landlords can focus on their growth. Join us to unlock this $25 billion opportunity. Thank you.
Great job, great job. Good job, Alfred. We also have a little Q&A after, so for those of you who don't know, we have about 2 minutes. They get 3 minutes to pitch. And we have Mac Andrews here, who is one of our investors, who is really excited to talk because he just spent 10 days at a meditation where he was not allowed to say one freaking word. He said he sang in the shower, though.
Don't tell on me, man. Al-Karim, great pitch.
Thank you.
So I always love talking to you because I just get the impression you're a data machine. So can you tell me about your process for defining your ICP?
So we spent a lot of time focusing on our ICP. We thought about how do we refine that, and so we built out a series of different customer profiles, company profiles, and we've narrowed it down to those between 100 doors and 1,000 doors. But it's not exclusive. We have customers ranging from 10 doors just to over 1,000, actually to 2,000, and one outlier at 6,000 as well. So that specific zone we know is interesting because up to 100 doors, folks are hacking it with paper, Excel, different mechanisms. And what we've learned is when they start to scale, that's when they need something like Propra.
Very cool. So you mentioned it's an all-in-one solution.
Yes.
Can you give some more details on that? Some of the features.
Thank you. And I want to go into that depth in the pitch, but I try to keep it tight. So I love that you asked me that. We have, our focus is the all-in-one idea, right? And what we know is our customers are using multiple point solutions. And so when we think about multiple point solutions, what are they doing? Well, they're using Excel for maintenance, something for accounting, something else for inspections, maybe just hacking it on their cell phone. We've built an all-in-one solution. So we have a CRM, we have an accounting solution, we have an inspections tool, a maintenance tool, and a handful of other features. And together, now you have a single source of truth. So you're not looking for stuff on your cell phone or maybe in a drawer somewhere, but you actually have it all together. And now you know, for example, let's say you live in, and I know the Calgary Tower is not a residential building, but you live in the Calgary Tower, 1201, you know the history of what's happening in that building, in that unit, and that's captured. So when you scale, and you've been doing this for years, you don't have to hack in and try and remember, it's just right there.
Love it. Can't wait to see where you take this.
Yes, please. Thanks, bud. Good to see you.
Awesome, great work. I'm going to get Danny up here again, but just to remind everybody that's going to pitch, hold the microphone real close to your mouth for question and answer and everybody. But great job, Al-Karim. Let's hear a round of applause for Propra, please. That was awesome.
All right, so now I would like to ask Adam and John to come down to present their company, Fenoto Technologies, which is basically building an e-paper-based device that will be replacing static screens in the out-of-home advertising industry. Please come on down.
Hi everyone, my name is John McColeman. This is Adam. The clicker, sorry. There we go. We're with Fenoto Technologies, and today we want to talk to you quickly about the possibilities of a paperless advertising future in the out-of-home space. So I've got 15 years of marketing experience, and one thing that I've realized is that there's a problem. There's a problem with how we serve ads, and really it's based on limited inventory that we hear from people. We hear that's paper, it takes time, effort, resources, there's waste. Every time it needs to be changed, the place needs to be open, and without it being open, we can't change them out. So our solution, Adam's gonna pull it out here, is built on e-ink technology. It's full color, so it's able to replicate any ads or images that you see. It's battery powered, so it doesn't require power, which means you can stick it up anywhere, and with it being fully connected, you can literally pull it out, stick it on a wall, and you're ready to go. The opportunity that we saw is that there's tens of millions, if not more, potential screens or locations for these devices. For count, Saddledome has 150 of these posters, paper posters, just so we're clear, which is right down the street. But we want to make non-smart advertising smart. We want to give the ability of these people, advertising networks, the ability to serve ads in a better way, in an eco-friendly way. As a partner with Rec Media said, there's limited digital inventory available because there's limited digital screens. That comes down to a lot of the power. So, competition, there's a little bit of competition. E-ink, mainly dedicated around office space. Hey, is this boardroom open, closed? What's going on? But we also think of our competition of the Pattisons and the Bells of the world as an opportunity. They have an opportunity to use our systems to give more inventory to their people, to be able to get into more spaces that they need to be in. So our sales strategy is pretty simple. We want to partner with them. We want to partner with them in a leasing, maybe a subscription fashion. Maybe it is a revenue share model where they can use our technology and our software to deliver the stuff, and maybe even sell them the units if that's where it needs to go. Our financial projections put us break even or slightly profitable after 2 years with significant growth in years 3 and 4. And our traction milestones right now is we have a prototype. This is version 2. We're currently on version 4. We're manufacturing 10 right now, and we're going to be doing our first trial actually in the Saddle Dome through partnerships to test this out in the real world because we know the impact and the need for it. I'm John, COO. I joined in January. We have Adam, who's the CTO, inventor, and founder, my apologies, and Chuck Bean, who's CEO and founder as well, along with an initial seed investor, Dan Kemper. Thank you very much. Appreciate your guys' time.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I've been wanting to see this since you first brought it up months ago. Very
So that was printed, and this is the second gen. So our current generation has double the resolution, so it's super clear. And they're available in multiple sizes too, so you can scale it up and down.
Awesome, love it. Okay, so your target market is the advertising industry. Can you narrow that down for us a little bit?
Yeah, Rec Media has something like 4,000 locations in Canada. So they've already got the partnerships in place and the screens essentially permitted in those locations that they serve. So that would be a perfect opportunity to go after a company like Rec that has the space. Their already allotment and partnerships are in place with the buildings. So rather than try and build up an ad network, service them, sell them, we want a partnership with them in order to be able to get into these locations immediately and give them more inventory.
Awesome. So you're newer to the company. Can you tell everybody what made you jump over?
Yeah, for sure. I currently own another company, actually. It's a marketing company. I've been in this space for quite a bit, but I received a random phone call from Chuck, and he explained the product to me, and I immediately got excited, like I normally do. Have a conversation with me, you'll find out. And I immediately introduced them to CSEC, so Calgary Sports and Entertainment, where they had a sit down, and they were immediately like, they wanted it. How soon can we get it, right? Because they understand the demand of it. So with the advertising space, I got excited about it. I saw the vision immediately where it could go and what the potential is. So I just, take the chance.
Awesome, and you've got the experience in the space. It makes sense. One last question. If you got to do one thing right in the next 6 months, what is it?
Yeah, it's definitely target marketing capital is what we need in order for us to take the next step and get the growth that we want.
Cool, let's make that happen.
I would hope so. Thank you very much.
We just want to remind everybody that we have a bar down there. We've got non-alcoholic, we got alcoholic. We also have some sandwiches, and we have some more food coming later. So it's all help yourself, and up to you.
All right, I'm back here again. So now I would like to bring on the stage our lovely founder, Mickey Multani, who will be presenting his company, Lumin. They are building a utility-based Web 3.0 platform, starting off with PoutineSwap.
All right, 3 minutes in crypto. More than 3 minutes.
It's not on the metaverse, Mickey.
Not yet, not yet. All right, so crypto is amazing. It's like your ticket to Wonderland. All the cool things that you want to do with DAOs, DeFi, NFTs, you need crypto first. It is amazing. However, crypto is hard. Like, it's expensive to obtain, it's complex to use, and there's no real utility at this point. So how do we make it truly delightful? We want to remove all these roadblocks. We want to make it very affordable. We want to provide great selection, but more importantly, provide amazing support. Hi, my name is Mickey Multani, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of PoutineSwap. We have built PoutineSwap so we can provide this easy access to crypto for Canadians. We have the largest selection of crypto, the best prices, and backed by amazing support. Since our launch in February, we have transacted close to $500,000 and have about $80,000 in assets under management. Our competition, Canadian exchanges here, they all suffer from the same problem, like small selection of crypto, high margins and spreads, and not good customer support. We have the largest selection, super easy to use, and we are in fact building real utility. You'll be able to pay businesses using your crypto. You'll be able to also swap equities. Imagine Tesla to Bitcoin swaps. We are targeting a $2 billion market in US and Canada, and for crypto payments and transactions. Our roadmap is to launch the exchange, which is already live, crypto payments by Q1 of 2023, and then equities to crypto swaps by Q2 of next year. Why us? Because we believe Web3 is all about community. We want to build an ecosystem here in Canada, which is built by the community and is usable by the community. We have an open dialogue policy with our regulators, with the government, and with our clients. That helps us actually build products which crypto can be used for in everyday life. We are hell-bent on onboarding the next billion people into crypto. We're asking for $250,000 to get us to an annual revenue of $6 million and have about 2,000 users in the next 12 months. We are building PoutineSwap so you can ape in and be a degen responsibly. Questions? Do your own research, no financial advice. I know the markets are red. Everything is red except Calgary Flames. We are going to make it.
Tough time to pitch.
I know. Like, worst time in 5 years.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, it's been an exceptionally bad week in crypto, and that scares boomers. What kind of features are you building into PoutineSwap that's going to bring in the mainstream?
Right. So for mainstream adoption, we don't want to reinvent wheel and create something complex. We want to make something that people are already used to. So that's why our focus on crypto payments. We want to be the PayPal, but for crypto. So you can create an account, use crypto to make everyday payments as easy as PayPal.
Very cool. So you said this yourself, but crypto's hard.
Crypto's hard.
What's so special about your team?
Yeah, our team has been building in this space for the last 8 years, from IPFS when it was still being built to like new protocols. And when I was at Canada Post, I was looking into remittances back in 2016. So we have tons of experience in the space, and our ethos about like building with the community is like answering, providing customer service like ASAP for any issues that arise.
Awesome. And having worked with a couple of your competitors before who are large and ahead of you, and you're able to offer more competitive fees, how does that work?
Yeah, so traditionally we are not a market matching service. We have like multiple liquidity sources integrated at the back end. So whenever someone places an order for whether it's a buy or sell order for a particular token or coin, our tech will search in real time like Skyscanner and find the best price to execute, just because we have so many different sources integrated at the back end.
Love to hear it, man.
Thank you.
Okay, now I would like to ask Manolo Martinez to come down, and I apologize if I did not say your name correctly, to talk about his company, TOTEC AI, which is an energy, an energy integrator focusing on carbon capture and physical exchange of natural gas and hydrogen.
Thank you, everyone. All right, so what is TOTEC? TOTEC is a commercial energy integrator for blue hydrogen. Simple as that. So what we're trying to do here is to actually grab all the modules, all the main elements for blue hydrogen. That is actually natural gas, hydrogen, and carbon capture. Put them together in a commercially sound way to sell, to make money on this. So consider this. On the last few months, there has been a lot of announcements about hydrogen, green hydrogen, blue hydrogen, and all of them are actually based on the existing energy infrastructure. So all of them are going back to natural gas. So here, what we're trying to do is with one platform to actually to have control over the entire ecosystem of how blue hydrogen operates. So one of the things, going back to natural gas works is very complicated in right now the daily operations to commercialize natural gas. So the whole point here is to automate all these works into using artificial intelligence to have one simple solution that actually connects different companies together in order to commercialize blue hydrogen. Right now, we are targeting the oil and gas companies, just here in Western Canada, as they're, due to the carbon tax, they're the most impacted by it, and they are more actually willing to do some decarbonization efforts with hydrogen or with carbon capture. At the same time, they're actually the ones that actually don't have enough resources. We're looking at, they just don't have the time. I know some oil and gas company owners that they are either lawyers or they're farmers. So they don't have actually the means to actually do any automation. So TOTEC is here to actually facilitate that. We estimate that just in automation, we're looking at around $20 million per year. So what is the traction that we have done so far? So I have a team right now with coders. So we're looking to actually base our foundation application that it runs for the natural gas, which is going to be used as the way to actually move through hydrogen and carbon capture, providing a secondary market for all of these. You know, contractually, all these different announcements, all these different contracts, they do have a primary company that is going to buy the majority of whatever they're selling, hydrogen or carbon capture capacity. But in order to actually to be efficient, they need to optimize. So they need to sell that additional hydrogen, natural gas, or carbon capture capacity. So that's what we're trying to do with a secondary market for these three different commodities. Sorry, I forgot to mention that we are also in advanced negotiations right now with the strategic partners to develop our own ecosystem for blue hydrogen, where we'll be able to actually to have a loop system for both, for all of the three commodities. All right, so this is just a few estimates of how we see the market. We're looking at right now just rapidly into what we're looking to do here, just call for funds right now between $500,000 to $500,000 to $2 million. I'm a veteran of the energy industry. I've been working in the trading, risk management, and energy structures for some of the large trading companies. I am Manuel Martinez, CEO, founder of TOTEC.
Thank you very much. Love the glasses, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so I'm not a smart guy. Can you tell me what blue hydrogen is?
Okay, there are different types of blue hydrogen. So blue hydrogen is the one that actually is produced as from the combustion of natural gas.
Easy. Okay, fantastic. Okay, lots of emphasis on carbon markets. Do you have any concerns about any sort of future regulations that might come into play?
Absolutely. I think there'll be the change into the carbon tax price. We're actually looking to have our blue hydrogen price in a way that will not be affected if the carbon tax disappears.
That's good news. Can you explain that really quickly?
Absolutely. So most of the equipment that is actually on the field, or some other companies, they're actually basing their price on diesel. So as long as the blue hydrogen is equivalent to diesel coming out of the gate, we are making money.
Love to hear it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that was 4 great pitches. We got another 16 coming up. Just a reminder, there is an open bar down there. There's food down there. Feel free to do some chatting with each other in between pitches. Our next co-host is with our friends at BDC. We have Eby, who's coming to us virtually, I hope. Assuming that I see him pop up on screen. So with that being said, we'll let him introduce the first company.
Awesome. Thank you, Jade. Thank you, Neil. Hey, everyone. I'm Eby. I'm a senior account manager with BDC's Tech Lending Group. Apologies for not being able to relish in all the fun by being in person today, but I did want to quickly highlight before I introduce our next entrepreneur that for those of you that don't know, at BDC, of course, we're providing patient, non-dilutive growth capital to assist entrepreneurs with their commercialization initiatives. Certainly open to connecting with everyone after the pitches to learn more about what you're building, and of course, share how we're supporting the tech ecosystem in Calgary. So now, without further ado, I would like to introduce to you Riley Milford from ZEET.
Come on down, Riley.
I can't do two things at once, so I need a helper with the clicker. So welcome everyone, thanks for coming out today. My name is Riley Milford and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Zero Emissions Energy Technology. We're a clean tech solutions company with a focus on providing waste heat recovery technology to reduce emissions. Everyone knows that we have a global issue with emissions, but what most people don't realize is that we have a waste heat problem. Up to 70% of the heat generated in industrial operations is wasted, typically up an exhaust stack. That's incredibly too much energy being wasted. But what if we could capture that heat and utilize that in facilities? That would drive efficiency and reduce emissions immensely. Independent studies show that there's an $80 billion waste heat recovery market. And if we only obtain a fraction of a percent of that, that's $500 million. And this market is available in Alberta and BC with compression engine exhaust heat recovery alone. We're focused on the natural gas industry for our go-to-market, and we're going to commercialize that within 6 months. But we're also targeting other markets, including ag and geothermal. This will be commercialized within the next 24 months. So what is our mousetrap? We've got the most efficient heat transfer technology on Earth. We use a core technology called heat pipes, which have been utilized since the 60s by NASA, but haven't been used in industrial applications until now. Our technology is ideal for retrofits, including on these compressor engines, and offering under 2-year payback is very attractive to our clients. So why now? Well, as you know, ESG is a huge focus for all stakeholders. Carbon tax is increasing year over year, energy costs are going up, and government regulations keep getting more harsh. So we have the right team. We have over 100 years in heat transfer technology expertise. We've got the partnerships with Alberta Innovates and the Natural Gas Innovation Fund already endorsing our technology with grant funding for our demonstration facility with Tourmaline and CSV, who are our early adopter clients. We're also working with PAMI to develop our ag tech as we speak. J&E is a contract manufacturer for scaling up our capacity on fabrication, and Turbine X is already a channel partner. Both of these companies have invested in us because they're confident in our technology. And we've got great legal support as well. So with our go-to-market strategy, we've done all the heavy lifting already and de-risked this company. We're going to be initiating our Tourmaline CSV demonstration facility this year. And we're going to launch from there and commercialize that application and then into our additional applications within the next 2 years. So we're asking for $1.5 million to achieve this accelerated commercialization and really a strong growth. And so what's in it for our investors? Well, we've got a path to positive cash flow within 12 months, and thereafter a real clear path to a 10x return over the next 5 years. So if this interests you, we'd love to chat. Thanks.
Great job, Riley. Our next Q&A is our very own Ambassador Dave Philo, who's going to pepper Riley with a couple questions here now. And just a reminder, if you guys can stay in between the white lines, you'll be on the camera instead of off camera. So that would be fantastic, especially you, Dave. I know you're shy.
I should have known that before.
Even
maybe.
better reason to be outside. Riley, fantastic presentation, and good to meet you in person finally.
Likewise,
too.
thank you.
Hey, first question, the heat pipe technology looks really innovative and unique for this industry. Can you walk us through what you've got for a strategy for IP protection?
Yeah, so good question, thank you. So on our first application, we've got a methods and process patent already in place. And so this is going to be our strategy going forward. Every new application that we do is going to be patented. But we also have IP protection in trade secrets on how we design and manufacture these heat pipes that we're going to keep pretty close to our chest.
Excellent, thank you very much. In the original deck, and I saw in this slide pack here too, you've got a pretty significant market penetration, a pretty good hockey stick going up. Have you got a plan to scale up your manufacturing beyond your current partnerships to meet that demand?
Yes, thanks. And J&E, they are the largest fabricator of metal equipment in Saskatchewan. So they've got ample capacity to grow with us. But beyond that, we have partners in Alberta that we're already talking to, and in Texas. So as we grow geographically, this is the beauty of our strategy, is it's all variable cost. We don't carry the overhead. And so we're going to work with these companies on the processes and procedures to build our technology where it's needed.
Excellent, excellent. How am I doing for time, guys? We're done? Okay. Right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Excellent.
All right, now we're going to talk about robots. So I'd like to get Olivier with Dianomix to come on up and share his cool company with us. And just a reminder, try to stay in these white lines there.
Grocery deliveries is a highly competitive market. And honestly, it hasn't really changed. Groceries in general hasn't really changed in 100 years. People go to the store, they're looking for groceries. It's competitive, and the winner is the one that's going to unlock this digital world. Welcome to Dianomix, the future of grocery delivery. Currently, we have people delivering groceries. This is very inefficient. You have large vehicles, it's carbon intensive, you're moving small packages, and it's slow. It is very expensive for the grocery retailers, and they're not able to unlock this market potential, and they're not able to compete. So in North America, it is about a $12 billion market. There's 45,000 supermarket locations, and our easily serviceable market for delivery is in the order of $4 billion. So with our unique solution here, we have this robot. It's able to bring 10 bags at a time. It's got automated delivery, electric powered, and able to do multiple deliveries in one outing. It is efficiency. It allows grocery retailers to get into the digital world, unlock their potential, and really compete against others. We also offer a complete solution with integration into the supply chain. So most people haven't been to the grocery store behind the scenes. They have a stock room, they're picking, they're bagging groceries, they're trying to figure out how to deliver it. We integrate with that existing solution with their existing e-commerce. If we could look at our competitors, we are very unique in this space with our automated delivery arm, multiple deliveries, temperature-controlled cargo box, and extreme weather testing. We're based here in Calgary, so as you can imagine, we work all year. Now, our go-to-market strategy is a B2B solution, so we're not getting in front of the retailer. The retailers, they can have their brand visible to their customers. We're behind the scenes on a subscription model. We operate the robots. They're housed at the retailer's location to do the deliveries. Our founding team here, Mastrius, long track record in software and hardware, won product design awards and has a prior exit. Ali comes from a financial background, a serial entrepreneur, also pitched on Dragon's Den. Thanks for joining me here, Ali. And myself, my background is in software, AI, and autonomy, having worked on autonomous on-road vehicles at Waymo. So we're looking to raise $350,000. That is going to help us build a small fleet and get us to an ongoing commercial agreement with a local retailer. So one of the big stepping stones for us. And we're also looking for mentors and retail connections, if anyone can help us out. Thank you.
Perfect timing, right on 3 minutes, Olivier. Excellent. You know what I noticed right away is we're at a cool technology to disrupt a very traditional industry that we've seen grow through the pandemic. So I applaud you for taking that on. Can you tell us a little more about customer interest that you've seen so far, and maybe specifically the Lena's pilot that you took on?
Yes, so we've had broad customer interest. Customers are even coming to us. We've had customers, a large supermarket chain out of Germany with 10,000 locations. We've got a logistics company out of Japan, your FedEx of Japan that came to us. North America-wide, talking to most of the large chains. Everybody's looking to get into this market. Last September, we did a pilot test here in Calgary with Lena's Market in Britannia. Very successful, everybody's excited. People are coming on the streets as they see this robot. What is this? And so we're with it. We're able to communicate, talk to the public, and everybody's like, when can I get this? People are demanding this. They want the easy, fast deliveries.
Excellent, thank you. What kind of systems do you have in place that are going to ensure that nobody, I'm going to say, interferes with the robot when it's moving through the system?
Yeah, we get that common question. So it's got 8 cameras with a total servicing about 22 lenses. So it's got a complete view all the way around for all our sensors. You get anywhere near it, we have that recorded. You can't sneak up on it. It has a closing lid. We've got the picture there. You can see the lid on top. It is locking together. It's not easy to get into. And we've got images of anyone coming close to it.
Excellent, thank you. When I look at it on the street and I think of the permits and regulations that are required to move, some type of transport vehicle like that, can you talk to or unpack maybe a little what you think is going to happen there?
Yeah, so we've actually worked with Alberta, the Ministry of Transport, to get they created regulation for us. We're not an on-road vehicle. We're working on sidewalks and bike lanes. So they created a new category, created the regulation for us, very supportive. We've got permits from the City of Calgary to operate in public, and we've got insurance. So everything is covered. We created everything we need in Alberta to operate legally and safely, and we can keep expanding to other jurisdictions.
Fantastic. Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And we got one more here before we fire Dave Filio here from asking questions. Of course, Wildfire Robotics is very important. Putting out fires is something that we hear about a lot over the last few years, especially in Canada, California, and of course, without further ado, Peter Root from Wildfire Robotics.
So yeah, I'm Peter Root from Wildfire Robotics, and I'm going to tell you about some bold technology for modern wildfires. The costliest natural disaster in Canada occurred in Alberta in 2016, and it was caused by wildfires. And this is a trend that's continuing around the world. Wildfires are costing us more, and we don't have a good technology to peacefully coexist with them. Our strategy is to create a technology that can form a reliable barrier between wildfires and the things we care about. And we do that by making the longest robot in the world. A robot that can go long distances over rough terrain and spray lots of water along its length, high into the treetops, to create that barrier. This would allow us to have reliable, effective, and reusable fire breaks that we can put where we want them, when we want them. The enabling technology for this is the ability to push a rope long distances, conceivably as long as 10 kilometers or more. And we've been working hard at developing this technology. We call it the firewall. And it gives us the ability to deploy a spray line anywhere we want without a worker going anywhere along the line. It's completely remote controlled, both in operation and deployment, and we can use sensors along the entire length to make intelligent decisions about what we do with the wildfire. As far as we know, there's no competing company making a self-propelled pipeline technology. So when we compare ourselves to what's traditionally done in the industry, we believe that we can make a fire break that's lower cost, more effective. We can get it out there in shorter time with less people, and we never put anyone in harm's way. Over the past 5 years, the US has averaged spending of $2.8 billion on fire suppression, And the damages from those fires eclipses $30 billion. Our product will be sold to 4 different categories of partners, government organizations at all levels, private contractors, private industry that has assets to protect, and insurers. We've been working really hard on our prototypes, and our latest prototype is actually capable of doing real work on real fires at a pilot scale. We recognize that we have a proprietary, unique technology, and we've been working on our patent protection, and we're working on establishing key partnerships. Our plan is to complete our product development so we can launch the product while building out our operational expertise, our partnerships, and our early team development. Our current team has a track record of building automated industrial machines, and we have a network of people around us that have complementary skill sets that we can leverage to move quickly. We're asking for 9 months of financing so that we can have our prototype test on a real fire. So that's $750,000. Half of that goes towards solution development, and the other half goes towards prototype testing, administration, and marketing. We believe we have a real solution to a real problem that will create real value. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter. You know, wow, very, very relevant new product design as we move into what looks to be another warm summer in Western Canada too. So fantastic work on that. I'm interested in kind of understanding what the total cost would be of like a firewall system like that, and maybe a high-level view of your revenue cost projections into the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So we believe that we can sell 1 kilometer of firewall for around $1 million, and that an operator who chooses to buy that can pay that off within a year. There's a lot of different ways we could structure the business, but we believe that we want to be a manufacturer of the firewall, and so we'd sell direct to the operating companies. And we believe that within 3 years of commercialization, we could have revenue in excess of $80 million.
Well, fantastic. When I looked at your team chart up there, it's pretty obviously you've got some high-skilled areas. I'm just wondering, have you got any probably skill set gaps that you're looking to fill in the near future?
Yes, so we really would like to have a wildland firefighting expert on our team, and specifically someone with operational experience as well as deep knowledge and a very strong network.
Fantastic. When I look at the example you showed up there, I was thinking of my backyard right away in terms of how that would work. But have you thought of any other kind of applications for the technology at this point, moving forward?
Yeah, so you know, there's a lot goes on to self-propel a pipeline like that, and what's not shown here is we can actually steer it and we can place it where we want it. So there's some other applications for pipeline installation in rough terrain. We could use it in tailings ponds and some mining applications, and also to lay subsea cables. So I was told in first year class not to ever push a rope. That was something you couldn't do in mechanical engineering, but we figured out how to do it.
That's excellent. Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that was pretty exciting. Again, we got 2 more pitches, and then we're going to take like a 15-minute break so everybody can wet their whistle and do some visiting. So you may recognize our next co-host. He's been up on stage with me pretty much the whole night so far. You also may recognize the fact that he has the craziest shoes in Calgary. So without further ado, I'll let Jade introduce the next 2 companies.
Thank you, thank you. So not only being Neil's assistant, also we have a company called Pure Guidance, and we're a proud sponsor of Startup TNT, and we're a group of entrepreneurs that want to make sure that capital doesn't get in the way of the help, the knowledge, and what you need to succeed. So one of our co-founders is up here, Mo. Peter LaFontaine helps out. Kalea helps out as well. So one of our taglines is asking for help is not a sign of weakness. So we want to make sure that everybody understands that you can go out there, you can ask whether it's me or Mo or Neil or Dave or whoever else is in this room. There's always someone there that's ready to help you. And speaking of helping, we are going to have Stephanie will be answering or asking the questions after this. She's from Foresight, but we are going to go into the animal world here for our next pitch, and we'll bring up Anthony Steenbergen of CANNABISCUIT. Anthony, come on down.
Good day, everyone. My name's Anthony. I'm the founder of CANNABISCUIT Canada. We're a Canadian-based animal health sciences company focused on the integration of hemp derivatives for improved animal health and wellness, and looking to become a globally recognized leader in this space. A bit about the sector. A lot of COVID dogs out there, and as it sits, greater than 50%, 56% of households globally have at least one dog in their household. And it's the targeted functional pet food and foods market that has been identified as the fastest growing segment within this market. 2021, it was estimated to be about a $1.9 billion sector with a 6% compound annual growth up to 2030. Bit about what we've done. We've combined 75 years of experience in pet treat innovation to develop a line of high-quality hemp-based nutraceuticals and treats. We're working with Canadian trusted suppliers and globally recognized ingredient suppliers to help us do this. We launched in the fall of 2020 with 5 hemp-based nutraceuticals, all registered veterinary health products with Health Canada. Important to distinguish at this point that on account of regulations, we're restricted to using only the hemp seed and hemp seed derivatives, so there's no cannabinoids yet in our products. We also launched with a line of 3 hemp and insect-based treats. Focus on environmental sustainability is kind of a big driver behind those. In our first year to market, we've been able to achieve a retailer count of over 450 locations across the country. We've secured 4 distributors to help us do this. We've managed over 125K in sales, and we've got over 300 retailers engaged and expect to pick those up within the rest of the calendar year. We've also signed our first international sales agreement. A bit about our team. So we've got 3 advisors on our team, 2 veterinarians, PhDs. 2 of those are founders of the Canadian Association for Veterinary Cannabinoid Medicine. This is a group focused on the education, advocacy, and collaboration of industry for the integration of cannabinoids in veterinary medicine. We're also working with a food scientist who has a PhD in animal nutrition to help us with our formulation work. We've got a facility located just outside of Red Deer, Alberta, a $3 million purpose-built facility to which we have an exclusive license with. The owner and operator here, Russell Gwish, he's got 30 years of experience in the petrochemical and food industries with illustrious careers both with Nova Chemicals and RAR Malting. He's got a pure passion for process and manufacturing engineering. Our sales guy is up in Edmonton. He'd had a history with Champion Pet Foods. He worked with them for 7 years and brought them to the US and single-handedly grew sales there from 0 to 60 million. We're seeking $750,000 to help us with product development, brand development, clinical research, and international market entrance via a convertible note.
Thank you so much, Anthony. What a great presentation. I, for one, am really excited about your product. I am a dog owner. So I noticed when you listed your team, you didn't list any actual dogs. Do you have dogs as well?
Oh yeah, we've got lots of taste dogs. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, if you're ever in the market for new tasters, I have a dog for you. I do want to ask you a little bit about, what is a nutraceutical? Let's start at the basics. What is that?
Yeah, it's kind of the borderline between over-the-counter drugs and a health product. There's a strong search now, I think, for integrative medicine that combine plant-based medicines, etc. So it's kind of a bridge between those 2 arenas.
And what will it do for my dog?
We've got 5 products there. We've got a mobility product, a calming product, skin and coat, gut health, and an active formula. So overall focus on health and wellness.
Okay, so a little bit of everything. So if I go to my local pet store, I always look for specific brands of pet food. I've never been really loyal to a particular treat. So how do you plan to kind of corner the market on treats? Obviously you have the nutraceutical, but how are you being effective? You've had some great growth from what we've seen. So how are you managing to get into these stores and get recognized?
There's a big gap in this market segment to which we're filling quite well, and seems to be, just continue marching down this path.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Great job. Our dog Bear was one of the test dogs, so sorry, Stephanie, I took that from you. Anybody wants to hear a testimonial, I can definitely give it. It really does work. The other thing I don't like doing is cleaning up after my dog, so that's where this next guest comes in. Home Spritz with Yanil. Where are you? Are you in here? I know you're here. Where are you? There we go. Come on down, you guys, with Home Spritz.
Good evening, everybody. So, cleaning your house sucks. Hiring a reliable cleaner is even harder. You're letting a stranger into your home, and other cleaning companies out there, they shuffle through the cleaners. By the time you get used to someone, boom, new person. Home Spritz helps you find someone who will become a part of your family. Someone your dog waits at the door for. Someone who knows your kids. Someone who knows how to care for your home. Our secret sauce is cleaner retention. While many other cleaning companies went out of business during COVID, we've grown over 700% year over year, and we're at $46,000 GMV. Hi, my name is Yeon-sil. I'm the co-founder and the CEO of Home Spritz. Home Spritz is a platform for empowering independent house cleaners to manage their business. Cleaning is not just about cleaning your house, but it's about the human connection, which starts from the relationship with our cleaners. We keep high-quality cleaners by paying them a living wage and respect. In result, clients stay with us twice as long as other companies because they get to build a relationship with the same cleaner. Just like Anthony and Janice here, they've been together ever since we started our business. As CEO, I've been working in human-centered field for the last 10 years, and I know how to connect with people. Will and Nick bring in over 20 years of experience in application development, finance, and business development. We dream big. Residential cleaning is a $12 billion market in North America alone. And we're on track to reach over $800,000 this year. Home Spritz is ready to mop up the market. Thank you.
$700% year-over-year growth. That's amazing.
Thank you.
So I want to ask a little bit about how your program works. You provide services for the cleaners themselves and for the homeowner? Are you the go-between? Is it a software platform? Can you tell us a little bit about how it works?
Yes, so we're the software platform. So we provide the management tools for the independent cleaners. So they have the tools to manage their scheduling, communication with the clients, and they also develop all those relationship and communication directly on that platform. So we go through a intensive screening process to have cleaners on board in our team. And then any clients out there, they can access those clients through our platform.
Excellent. So I heard a vicious rumor that you guys are looking at partnering with Airbnb. Have you explored this, and where do you stand with that?
Yeah, so that's our actually next exciting extension. I'm glad you brought that up. So we've been only doing the residential cleaning so far, and we've done some of the short rental properties like Airbnbs, and then we've really seen the gap there. So right now, there's no organized service for Airbnb cleanings because their needs are such unique industry in there. And they're just the Airbnb current owners, they go through either just their private cleaners or regular cleaning companies. When their private cleaner calls in sick, they're all scattered right before their next guests come in. So we see this gap. We have some ideas with the technical integrations to make everything automated. We can take up a huge capacity of Airbnb clients that way. So that's our actually exciting next extension.
Excellent. Look forward to hearing more from you in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, that wraps up our first half. We are going to take a break till 8. Oh, sorry, we're at 5.
Yeah.
Shit. I'm ready to go home.
Jade's ready to drink beer, I think.
Yeah. So anyways, we'll have some break. We have some food down there. If you don't get a sandwich, we have some more. We have Matador Pizza coming here, hopefully around 6:30, so you'll be able to get some there. But this is also a time to network. So come out here, meet somebody new, shake a new hand, and make sure that you meet somebody, because that's what these events are for. So we'll see you all back here in about 15 minutes.
in the product.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Hey,
test.
Welcome back. Test.
They also presented already.
All right, I hope everyone had a couple drinks, is ready to go. We have some more pitches starting here right away. We do have some more food coming in the next, after the next set of pitches, we'll be able to go down there, socialize, and finish off the night. But Neil, take it away.
Yeah, so we have another 10 cool companies to see here. So leading the charge to be our co-host for this next one is our friend Ron from Health Cities. And asking questions is our great friend Dave Philo, who is somewhere, he's down there, I'm gonna get him.
We hired him back.
That's right. Ron, I'll let you take it away.
Thank you and good evening, everybody. So my name is Ron Sladky. I'm a senior advisor with Health Cities. So for those who don't know Health Cities is a not-for-profit organization, and we work with clinicians, innovators, SMEs, multinational companies, and other stakeholders to develop new pathways for care that can drive better health outcomes and also drive economic growth and development in the healthcare space. So I don't think it's going to be a surprise to anybody in this room, but our region has a lot of strength when it comes to digital and other emerging technologies, and they are transforming healthcare. And at Health Cities, we are pairing initiatives with solutions that come from our ecosystem, enabling them to have an opportunity to test and validate their technologies with the ultimate goal of having them integrate into the healthcare system. So I'll be around afterwards. I was promised free beer, so if anybody wants to talk about that in more depth, I'll certainly be around afterwards until the bar closes. So I am very privileged today to introduce four, that'd be a bad time for your phone not to recognize your face, four very exciting companies in the healthcare space. The first of which is BioMimir, and they have some very interesting technology in the regenerative wound filler and other complex wound care space. So with that, I would ask Fiona Simpson to the stage.
All right. Lovely to meet you all because we're a new transplant here to Calgary, so we're looking to make new friends this evening. My name's Fiona. I'm the CEO of BioMimir, which is a female-founded medical device company. So you have the world's most awkward wound. It's deep, it's infected, it's right at your tailbone, so it's really uncomfortable. How do you want this treated? Are you okay with having it surgically drained, sutured open, and packed with bandage material over 3, 6, 12 months to heal? Are you okay with losing a huge chunk of skin right around your tailbone and having a great big scar? If you said no to both of those, my friend went through the first procedure, and it was a very uncomfortable couple of months for them. Pilonidal sinus disease is the disease I'm talking about, and it is a rising concern in the general population. It affects about 80% men, but 20% females and rising. It's also a significant concern for active duty military personnel, to the point where the Israeli military is publishing studies talking about the fact that they lose up to 45 active service days in combat troops, which is a huge problem. So what's our solution to this? So once that we have flushed your wound, drained it of all the nasty things, we fill it with our proprietary liquid to solid filler. It's applied as a liquid, it adheres to the borders of the wound, and then over the next 12 months, it helps to heal this naturally. So the material, which is anti-inflammatory, helps to support natural tissue growth as opposed to scar tissue formation, and it improves quality of life for patients. So what's our competitive advantage here? Simply put, we can reduce the timeline for treating this disease. We can reduce post-op visits by about 80%, which would save the United States healthcare system about $840 million per year. We don't have a lot of competition. There are surgical adhesives, there are wound fillers, and there are wound dressings, but none of them are all-in-one solutions that are adhesive, preserve volume, are anti-inflammatory, and truly regenerate so that people don't have recurrences. So who are we, and why should you trust us to develop something like this? So I'm an expert in pilot scale cleanroom manufacturing, medical device regulatory, and I've worked on human clinical trials in this space before. My co-founder, Elle, is a polymer chemist. She's the brains behind our proprietary polymers, and she has a lot of expertise in preclinical animal testing. And our Chief Financial Officer, Ben, helps us with corporate governance and makes sure we think about clients while we're developing our technology and our prototype. What would we like from you? So we'd like $500,000 to support packaging and stability studies for our prototype, as well as small animal studies in rats. This will allow us to go to Health Canada and the FDA and ask for approval for our GLP large animal study to get us to human clinical trials. We're also looking for new friends in the Calgary area, medical partners and collaborators, so come by and say hello. Thank you very much.
That was great, Fiona. Thank you very much. I must admit, I watched your video online too, and it sure helped describe exactly what you're doing. I thought that was really cool. I know it's pretty early on for you guys, but can you give me an example or walk me through what you see as your go-to-market strategy, and then even as far out as what an exit strategy could look like?
So in the medical device space, distribution is probably one of the biggest challenges because the client might be a hospital, it might be an insurer. So ideally, we would like to find a partner who does distribution, somebody like Baxter or Johnson & Johnson, who already has that network. If we're not able to keep the company to ourselves, it might be a merger and acquisition to a company like that, because they would really be able to take this technology global.
Okay, excellent, thank you. Have you looked outside of kind of the soft tissue wound area for different applications for the device, or medicine, I guess you would call it? Yeah.
So pilonidal sinus disease is sort of our beachhead market, and we picked it because we wanted to treat bullet wounds, but Dr. Court Beek at Foothills, who's a trauma surgeon, suggested this because it's really hard to do clinical trials with informed consent in gunshot wounds. We're all, yeah, you don't want a doctor putting this in you without asking, right? We've also considered things like pressure ulcers, and our non-dilutive funding strategy is to look for grants that would allow us to investigate things like pressure ulcers, diabetic foot ulcers, and burns over the long term.
Excellent, okay. We know from a previous summit that we've had, the Life Sciences Summit, that the regulatory pathway is usually quite challenging and I guess opportunistic if you know how to manage through it. Can you speak to that for your product?
So in Canada, this is a class 4 medical device. It's an FDA class 3 medical device. So it will need to get an investigational device exemption prior to human clinical trials based on the GLP large animal model. I've got a lot of experience working with regulatory consultants from Health Canada to do this process and to get our paperwork aligned. And we're really hoping to put our foot on the gas and get going with all of that hard work.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for everything. Great presentation.
Thank you. Very interesting. So our next healthcare-focused company is called Bit Cortex, and they have a gamified mental wellness tracking app. So I'd ask Ty McKinney to the stage.
Awesome, thank you everyone. So I am Dr. Ty McKinney, one of the co-founders for Bit Cortex, and we're all probably familiar with the fact that mental health is a really big challenge that we've all been tackling over the last couple years. But what might surprise you is that the cost of mental health issues in the workplace is about $3,800 per employee per year on average for Canadian companies. And this is due to lost productivity when people aren't able to be 100% at their fullest. And when we talked with people, we realized that the big challenge around managing this is really the uncertainty around it. It's a very complex problem, it's a very costly problem, and it's a very personal problem. It's very stigmatized. So we wanted to develop technology that could alleviate this. So in order to do that, we created a gamified mental wellness tracking platform where the data that's collected for individual employees can be used to help them develop a personal wellness strategy that's data-driven and based on their own individual experiences and lifestyle factors. And this same data can be used with employers to improve job satisfaction, improve productivity, and ultimately reduce absenteeism in the workplace. To give you guys a little more concrete sense of what this would look like, we would initially meet with our clients and do a consultation, develop a personalized approach for an assessment protocol. Then our app would then go out to the individual team members, and they would do a daily check-in that would take 10 minutes or less. And then based on all that data, we could collect that from workers, business leaders, and get a baseline for what that company's burnout risk is at in order to help them understand their future risk and management of burnout, and overall make the workplace more inclusive for those that are struggling with mental health challenges. Right now, we're actually launching a pilot of this set of services. So if you're interested in being one of our first customers, come find me afterwards. To give you a sense of the market opportunity, though, the corporate wellness, HR services, and benefits market in all of North America is just over $80 billion. And specifically, we were offering the services of health risk assessments and optimizing insurance benefits administration. And particularly, we're looking to partner with companies that have at least Series A degrees of funding with high turnover industries. And within those companies in particular, we want to connect with HR professionals and those in charge of administering benefits packages. Of course, we got the hipster, hacker, and hustler sort of investable team. The idea came from my own personal program of research, but it really was just ideas until my business partner was able to turn it into a strategy. And then Araz helped us develop the technology that is now available online for everyone to check out. So far, we've bootstrapped and been pretty successful in raising over $100,000 in non-dilutive funding, and actually just completed our first rounds of beta testing with the end user version of our app. Moving forward, as I mentioned, we're going to be piloting out these services and trying to iterate them into a fully automated SaaS service. And we're looking to raise about $250,000 in order to help our operations team execute that and get an established sales team to really help us land in the market. So overall, if you're interested in making the workplace more fun and data-driven with respect to the burnout management, come talk with me. And I'll give you guys a promo code so you can see exactly what our technology can do for you and your company.
That was great, Ty. Thank you very much. Ty and I know each other from another organization we're involved in, so I feel like I can't ask too many difficult questions here, Ty.
No, give it to me.
You know, the first thing that comes to mind when I see a workplace app like this, I think of personal privacy, data access, that type of thing. Can you speak to that a little for us?
Oh no, 100%. So that's one of the first things that people talked about when we did our customer discovery. So the way that we manage this is we don't provide any information for individual employees to their employers. Individual people get to see their own personal strategy and data, but then at the aggregate, it's only given to companies for groups of 5 or more, so that we're able to preserve their anonymity and their privacy.
Perfect, and I know coming from out of the large corporate life too, there's a lot of EAP programs that exist today. Have you thought more about how you would integrate it into existing large corporate platforms?
That's actually what we're looking to explore right now. So our first pilot is actually with a wellness benefits insurance brokerage. So they're helping us figure out exactly where we could best position ourselves to integrate with those kinds of programs.
Excellent, excellent. You didn't talk too much about the competitive landscape. I know that it's quite significant out there, and I must applaud Bit Cortex. You guys were prior to the pandemic, and through the pandemic, we've seen this issue grow quite substantially. So great that you're really focusing on it. Have you got other competitors out there or people that are kind of best in class that you're looking at?
Yeah, so there's a few different approaches out there for trying to understand where people are at as far as burnout goes. And they more or less all involve some sort of an engagement survey with the workforce. And the different companies have some sort of a different spin for what they tack on to that to improve it. Home Metrics, I believe they're based out of Edmonton. They do analysis on emails where they passively scan it and use that to do sentiment analysis to try to, under the radar, get a sense of where their employees are at. So they're probably our biggest local competitor, whereas we're using the gamified active cognitive assessments to try to get similar information that at least I believe is going to be more sensitive because we're using the time series-based approach.
Excellent. Last question. 1 or 2 things that you would ask for to make this journey a little easier for you in Bit Cortex?
Like I said, right now we're looking to do those initial pilots. So if anyone has connections in the benefits insurance packages or with HR professionals, those are the people that are really looking to connect with, because we can either optimize their business or help them do their job better in a more data-driven manner. So thank you for that one.
Excellent. Thank you for time.
Yeah.
Great stuff. So the next company is called Wosler, and they are developing technology to improve access to quality diagnostic ultrasound services. And with that, I'd like to ask Henry Marubuabi to the stage.
Wow. Thanks, everyone. Let's see if I can move this thing. Alrighty. My name is Henry. I'm one of the co-founders of Wosler. Did you know that about 11 to 20 million Canadians require ultrasound scans within a given year? But the problem is, ultrasound is very operator dependent, and it requires a really skilled sonographer. Sonographers are in limited supply. And this creates a waiting list, resulting in over $174 million in untapped revenue per year. The solution? A cloud-based pool of global sonographers. And what that means is a sonographer can be anywhere in the world and still provide ultrasound services to patients using teleoperated robots. And these are the products that make it work. That's Regis Rev3. And it's basically a remote control system that a sonographer uses to control that off-the-shelf robot. And that robot holds the ultrasound probe. This is 6 degrees of freedom designed with eliminating the need for an assistant at the patient's side. Right now, we're currently focused on rural Canadian markets, and that's 6 million patients per year without adequate access to ultrasound. That's about a $100 million market. The ultrasound service market itself, it's about $40 billion market. So Wosler's niche is having adequate and very excellent diagnostic ultrasound services, but also making that accessible for patients. And you can see none of our competitors are able to match that. So we started back in 2020. We did things that did not scale. We opened in a very small town in Alberta, Crowsnest Pass, 6,000 people population, where we currently do $20,000 in monthly recurrent revenue. By 2021, we had our proof of concept prototype, which we are currently optimizing with the assistance of Tangent. And by December of 2021, we had identified 5 pilot locations. In fact, some of these locations reached out to us. Some of them are our current investors or funders. And by June of 2022, next month, we're actually opening up a clinic here in Calgary, Southeast Calgary, performing ultrasound the traditional way. This is another source of revenue for us, but a source of data for us. So this is how it works. It's a B2B type business, fee-for-service subcontraction of ultrasound services. The remote clinic purchases the hardware between $60,000 to $80,000. And for a clinic of serving a community of 6,000 patients, they'll generate about $280,000 in monthly annual revenue. Wosler takes $94,000, and the clinic keeps about $186,000 of that. So we're a team of healthcare providers, tech geniuses, engineers, software developers. I myself, I'm a radiology resident. So I understand the importance of ultrasound and the fact that about 2/3 of medical dilemmas can be addressed using simple medical imaging. We have advisors that are very networked and also very experienced. Dr. Raj Zohor started, operated, and sold a multi-million-dollar med tech company to Green Shield. Peter Fenwick, former vice president of strategy at Green Shield, is also our advisor and former senior provincial director at AHS. Professor James Lacefield, he's chair of biomedical engineering at Western University. He's a very decorated scientist. We're raising $1.25 million. We've raised $415,000 to date on SAFE alone. And we have about $850,000 to go. And with that, we would achieve regulatory approval in Health Canada, US and Australia. And also we plan on having 5 contract locations by the end of 2023. With that, I'll take questions. And by the way, that's our clinic in Calgary. Can you tell that I had like a little bit of drink?
Not at all. Ask them. You did wonderful. You know what? One quick question for you. You went a little over time there, but in terms of it being cloud-based and I'm assuming internet connected, how do you manage that in the remote communities if you have outages or that type of activity?
Yeah. You know what? I would call my CTO, Marco.
In 30 seconds or less, Marco.
Yeah, so to ultimately solve that problem, we already know that the technology in rural parts of Canada is sparse and it's hard to get a good internet connection. We haven't yet experienced latency that is so critical to actual control. However, what we have anticipated this problem, and we haven't been able to yet deploy to those remote communities, but in anticipation of that, we're gonna try and tackle in central intelligence on the robot side that is ultimately going to estimate the best course of action that the robot should be able to take, and the ultrasound machine should be able to optimize its parameters in order to obtain the best quality ultrasound image for accurate diagnosis.
Excellent, excellent. You know what, I looked online and I watched your video of it actually happening between the operator and the patient, and it's really cool. So if you have a chance to see that. But perfect, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
All right, very interesting stuff. So our last company, or the next company I should say, is Promera. And they have a very interesting digital health platform that's going to aid in better management of chronic disease in between clinic visits. So I'd like to ask Trafford Crump to the stage.
Great. Thanks, guys. Okay, approximately 40% of North Americans live with at least one chronic disease. And in general, the care they receive in between clinic visits is rather lousy. A lot can happen in that time. Patients can experience symptom flare-up or disease progression. And what do? They got one of 3 options. They can struggle through it until the next clinic visit. They can suffer through the frustration of trying to call their doctor's office, or they can take a trip to the emerge. All of this leads to poor outcomes. Now, there are a lot of apps in this space trying to solve this problem, but they've all failed to address the incentives that are needed to keep patients and providers engaged for long-term use. This is something that my co-founder and I, Luke Rudmick, have been working on throughout our entire careers. Luke as a otolaryngologist and myself as a quantitative healthcare researcher. We've married our domain experience with a rock-solid team of developers to come up with InterMe. InterMe is a 2-sided platform, free to all users, that uses patient-reported outcomes or clinically validated surveys to help track and remotely monitor chronic diseases. The way it works is that patients sign up and form a data relationship with their physician. That physician assigns them the designated pros they'd like to fill out. And if a score meets a clinically valid or clinically important measure, the physician is notified. and it has the option of sending a secure one-way message to the patient with management action. The patient feels like they're getting personalized feedback from their own physician and feels like their condition is being actively monitored. Now that secure message is billable to the government, which Interme does automatically on the back end with no additional effort or work required on behalf of the physician. We take 25% of that transaction, or $5, for an estimated annual recurring revenue of $2,900 per physician. Now we've been using this as an invited alpha stage with patients who have chronic sinusitis. We've recently received our judgment from the Office of the Information Privacy Commissioner on our PIA, so we're ready to scale. We're looking to raise $500,000 to do that, expand across Alberta, increase the number of clinical conditions that we're using Interme for, test out a new revenue stream, and also attend CDL in Toronto for their blockchain stream over the course of the next 12 to 18 months. So if you're ready to have a dramatic impact on patients' lives, then we're ready to welcome you to the Interme team. Thanks very much.
Don't go anywhere, Trevor.
Well, my co-founder is actually going to be answering the question.
Okay, sure.
All right, thank you.
I was quite impressed by the domain expertise that you had in the team, so this makes sense that you're switching it around a little too. Yeah. Knowing that there's already a number of existing systems within a doctor's office, have you got plans on how you would integrate it into those existing medical systems records?
Yeah, you know, we definitely don't want to bombard physicians with more tech in the office. And so right now, we're not trying to be a point of care app. This is going to be more of a remote monitoring app. But we do have plans to integrate with EMR so that any care plan that's sent to the patient in between the clinic visit time, it will get pushed into their EMR. So when they see them at point of care, they'll know what they've kind of managed them in between that time. So,
okay. Excellent, thank you. You talk about some certain chronic diseases that you've tested it out on now. Are there obvious next steps in terms of the diseases that you would go after?
yeah, we're really going to focus on chronic airway disease to start. So our next chronic disease is going to be asthma, and we're already gearing up for that. Asthma is a unique one because it's managed a lot both by family physicians and by specialists as well. And so we know right now the big market is primary care physicians. That's where the most physicians are. So we do want to break into that market, and we think we can do it with asthma. Once we perfect that, we'll move into kind of the bigger ones like the diabetes and the mental health domains. So yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. As a father with a son that had asthma, not knowing what to do, the next steps, it would have been great to have something that clarified that with the doctor at a time. Telemedicine, that type of thing has come into really obvious during the pandemic stage. Just a real high level one, I mean, between you and your team, why you guys, why this, why now?
Yeah, I think the goal is to try to simplify both sides of this interaction, both the patients and the physicians. Telemedicine, I mean, again, there's, we're not here to knock any ideas, but telemedicine is, it's a burden on physicians. I can tell you as a physician, any phone call, any interaction with a patient is easily 10 minutes at best. That's if you're a quick physician. And if you're doing 10 of these a day at the end of your busy clinic, it just doesn't work. And so we're really trying to focus on remote care that's done very quickly to try to optimize that incentive to kind of use the app. If it's more work, no one's going to use it. So that's kind of why we're focusing more on the remote monitoring. That's where we think we can shine.
Excellent. Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, aren't there some cool life sciences companies in Calgary? Let's hear it for them. All right, our next co-host is from our friends at Plug and Play, so I'd like to invite Niall to the stage to introduce our next couple of companies, and we're gonna have Mac Andrews back asking some questions after, so here you go.
All right, thanks, Neil. And yeah, first of all, thank you to the TNT crew for hosting Plug and Play here. So I'm Niall Kerrigan. I am part of the newly established Plug and Play Alberta team here. So we're new kids on the block. So I'm going to spend just a couple minutes plug and play before we get into our next round of awesome startup pitches tonight. So what is Plug and Play in a nutshell? So we are a global innovation platform, and that means a few different things. So first and foremost, we are a very active early stage investor, and that speaks to our origins, and so we take a VC lens to all of our activities. And so we're fairly active through our 50 offices, well over 50 offices worldwide, and our headquarters down in Silicon Valley. So we make well over 200 early stage investments each year in promising technology companies across 20 different industry verticals. And so the second pillar really to plug and play is our accelerator programs. And so in each of our locations, we run accelerator programs for startups to really give them that leg up, connect them with their next big customer, and connect them with their next big investor. And the third pillar really is what kind of makes all this work so cohesively together. We also run a corporate innovation platform. And so here we supercharge the innovation. We act as like an external innovation engine for some of the biggest corporations in the world. So we have well over 550 major corporations that rely on plug and play to connect with the best startups in the world. And so that really works hand in hand with our accelerator programs and our investments activities, where we're really on the pulse of what the businesses want, and we source the best startups from our network to put them in front of our customers, our corporate customers. And then if we can sprinkle some investment along the way to help them scale up and grow, that just makes the game all the more interesting to us. So here in Alberta, we're new kids on the block. So we just launched our office in January. There's a few of us here in the room as well, so make sure to say hi. But we're focusing on 3 different areas to start with. So one is digital health. So shout out to all those amazing health companies in the last round. That's my bread and butter. So next to health, we also have a sustainability vertical. And then the third one that we have currently is industry agnostic, but with a focus on AI and machine learning technologies. So yeah, really happy to be here and participate with the TNT crew. This is my second time being at one of these events, and it's just been phenomenal. So enough talking from me. I'm going to introduce our next startup here. So all of these are coming from the sort of business and enterprise technology space. So first up, we have YR Plans. So Sanjita Prasad from YR Plans. So a little preemptive clap there. I'm gonna say something about them. So YR Plans creates solutions for employers to help workers strategically manage debts like student loans and mortgages while continuing to save for retirement. So take it away, Sanjita. Now you can clap.
Good afternoon. I'm Sanjita Prasad, CEO of Wire Plans. I'm going to take you through what Wire Plans does and why we are an exciting investment opportunity. The demographic of the workforce has shifted. The demographic of the workforce has shifted, and companies are having a hard time attracting and retaining their workforce. This is a large and growing problem that is facing companies today, and they will continue to do so in the foreseeable future. So we have created a financial benefit that helps companies with their, Okay, I've lost my space here, sorry. Am I going forward or backwards here? Sorry. You're going to get to the flames highlights in a minute. Here we are. Right there. There you are. No, back forward. Okay, I'm going to start from the beginning here. Okay, sorry about that. I lost my space. I got to know where front is. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to run through what Wire Plans does. So the demographic of the workforce has shifted, and companies are having a hard time attracting and retaining the workforce. This is a large and growing problem for companies and will continue to be so for the foreseeable future. So we have created a financial wellness benefit that resonates with companies' workforce, that deals with their top financial priority, which is reducing their personal debt. Sorry. I'm sorry, I'm just having a hard time. I'm black. I'm going backwards and forwards here, I'm sorry. This is terrible. Okay. Now I've lost my place altogether here. Okay. So we decided to address, okay, I'm just going to go without figuring it out. So we decided to address student loan debt first because for companies, attracting skilled millennials is one of their biggest challenges. 60% of the post-secondary graduates they're trying to recruit carry student loan debt. In late 2021, we commercially launched our employer-sponsored student loan repayment benefit, a Canadian-first, best-in-class solution that delivers significant savings for employers and their employees with student loans. Concurrently, we launched a pilot partnership with Sun Life Financial. After only 4 months, they have deemed the pilot to be a success, and we are now in the process of formalizing a long-term partnership. This partnership will gain us access to their over 10,000 clients and pave a path to rapid client acquisition. Okay, now I did it again, sorry. Our student loan product represents a market opportunity of approximately $550 million in annual revenue. Realistically, we have set a target for a 3 to 5 year target for approximately 5% of our market share. Our revenue model is software as a service with, our revenue model is software as a service with a monthly processing and annual licensing fees. To capture half of our forecasted growth, the company can demonstrate a clear path to profitability. Sorry. The next product on our roadmap is mortgage repayment assistance, which we plan to launch in 2023, and will triple our annual accessible market by more than triple. Sorry. We are, sorry, I am doing a terrible job here. Sorry, John. I have lost it. In my head. Okay, so startups and innovation are not new to us. Our team is very experienced and we have a successful track record with startups. Our product is commercial, generating revenue, and in demand. We are currently completing an angel raise that will allow us to scale. Our company is a great opportunity for angels to invest in a company that has already set the table for success in this unaddressed market. Thank you very much.
I've sat there with Sangeeta many times. She's told me this over coffee and beers and putting it on a pitch stage. It's always hard. So it is difficult to do this. So thank you. You did a great job. Great job. Okay. But we'll have one question for you. One question for you. Yes, exactly. That's right. It's okay. We're good. We're good. So the one question we have, Sangeeta, if this is for Jade Alberts as a student wants to go work for Suncor, why would I want to work for Suncor with your plan?
Why would I want to work for Suncor? Well, most companies offer traditional benefits, and so what this benefit really does is resonates with the workforce of today. Traditionally, companies offer retirement savings, bring your dog to work, and all these other things that John likes to talk about. But really, it doesn't really make them a sticky employee, because they can go, if they're getting a good paycheck right now, they can go there across the street and get a paycheck for $100 more and they'll move. But with having a student loan repayment benefit, this is helping them get out of debt faster. So it's money that's going to them, but it's something that's really meaningful, because right now we know that people are struggling with their finances and making ends meet. And having this benefit that's getting them out of debt faster is allowing them to move on with their other life goals, whether it's starting a family, buying a house. It's really the existence of debt that really is messing with their mental health as well as their financial health. So this is something that's taking care of them inside and outside of the office.
Awesome.
See,
Thanks
I'm
again.
better without a skill.
Awesome. I'll blame the clicker on that last one. So I think Neil and Jade, you need to put some better directions on that. So next up in the order, we have Leighton Haley from KnowHow. So KnowHow is a communication platform enabling labor-intensive companies to easily achieve company-wide compliance to their critical business processes and organizational know-how. So the stage is all yours, Leighton.
Hi, my name is Leighton. I'm part of the team at KnowHow. We are a mobile software platform for very large US-based blue-collar companies. Let me tell you a little bit about the problems they have. So number one is that our companies deal with the fact that the blue-collar labor workforce has changed very significantly. The worker today is less skilled, they generally don't speak or read English, and they really don't have very long tenures. And so delivering very high compliance work according to SLAs, service level agreements, is very complicated, especially when you can get fined or you get charged or you can end up in court if you don't do things the right way. We're talking about a workforce that represents 67% of all employment in North America. So this is the largest employment workforce in North America. The Department of Labor in the US, we're focused on the US market, estimates that in the next 6 to 7 years, over 51% of this market won't be able to read English, and so that's our focus. And their biggest problem, if you talk to any of our clients, we have hundreds of clients, they'll tell you that their biggest problem is how do we actually drive compliance from day zero with the labor workforce. Today, we're a little over a year in the market. We're doing a little over $40,000 of monthly recurring revenue and growing very rapidly. We saw nearly 500% customer growth last year, and from day one, we've been 100% focused in the US as a prairies-based company. Where we're really accelerating and where we really see our next channel is to continue to accelerate within franchises. So franchises, we're currently working with over 6 franchises, currently piloting in the pipeline with 6 more. Why franchises? Number one, it's a massive distribution channel. Number two is that franchise systems, we solve one of their core problems. They struggle to easily facilitate the core system that runs the business in a mobile-friendly software, and we are that software. The other thing is that when we're integrated into their company, we are super sticky. It's very difficult that when we are the system that moves the hands and feet across their hundreds of locations to pull us out, and so that's a big part of it. Another thing is we have a very skilled team that's executing on this strategy. Right now, we have myself seasoned in sales and growth and acceleration. In addition to multiple ventures, I have 10 years of senior executive leadership across labor franchise systems. We also have one of the Prairie's top product managers, Travis Martin, one of the leading engineers with multiple software companies under his belt, Pedro Restrepo, and then driving the product to market in the delivery side is Lauren. And we're backed by a lot of the top, I would say, advisors in marketing, in fundraising. We have the top SaaS CFO in North America, as well as 2 prominent founders of some big B2B SaaS companies. We're raising $1.5 million. We got $1 million committed. We're looking to get commitments for the remainder, and we're looking to raise that ASAP as we are growing very quickly. So we're looking for people that want to join us as we build the system that powers the modern blue-collar workforce. Thanks.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Yeah.
I mean, good to meet you.
Yes, thank you. Very good job. I I think the biggest question I have right now is that this seems sort of like a category-defining product. Would you say it is, and can you dive into that a little bit?
I would. In fact, something that we were very surprised about, but is a wonderful surprise, it doesn't happen every day, I've been at this for quite a while, is that our customers refer to the unit that our product facilitates as our product. And so companies don't refer to it as knowledge or how-tos or processes or workflows or systems. They say, don't ask me, we've got a know-how for that, just check the know-how. And so it's really, really sucks to compete against us because they ask you, so how do know-hows work on your system? And they say, we don't, know-how's it, never mind. So yeah, so that's...
We don't know how.
You don't know how. Yeah. So yeah, no, it's really exciting, and we have a category-defining moment, and to own a category doesn't come along very often, and we are gonna freaking own it.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. What was the process like when you really defined that beachhead market?
So we came out of an accelerator in San Francisco that really just drilled, like hyper-verticalized, really define a market, go after that ICP, and we really embraced that. And so our strategy is build a product that scales into almost any labor vertical. You know, we've got 6 criteria we look for in labor verticals, but as long as they meet that, we'll scale into that vertical in time. So build a product that scales without lots of tuning, and then really develop a playbook that allows you to move into it. So we picked our niche market because it fit that metric, it fit that rubric, and it's worked, and we're growing very rapidly. So we currently today, we specialize in the 23,000 companies in North America that are property disaster restoration companies, primarily, that are delivering it through a franchise brand.
Very, very interesting. Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, so last in this batch of startups, we have Amar Menon. So he's joining us from Quickly. So Quickly is a earned revenue access technology. So I hope he explains to me what that means. That lets small and mid-sized businesses take control of their working capital by providing next-day access to their verified receivables. So Amar, take it away.
Thank you. Yeah, you heard that term here first, so copyright. I need a copyright lawyer. So guys, let me get the remote. I'm here to talk to you about Quickly. I'll start with our team. There's only 2 of us right now. I spent the last 11 years in the oil and gas service industry in finance roles. 2 years of that was in technology and engineering. And I was pretty fortunate. I got a broad amount of experience. I got to manage a dev team through a CRM and invoicing platform build out. I also got to manage a credit team with receivables over $50 million. And then my co-founder, Kyle, he's an entrepreneur. He started, most recently, he started a commercial painting business that grew from 0 to roughly $7 million in about 7 years. Now, despite all that success and growth, he always struggled with cash flow. You know, they're making good revenue, but they're not getting the cash right away. And so that was always a big challenge for them as a business, and that's really where the idea was born. So small businesses really struggle with cash flow more than they do with profitability. And the reason is they need to get paid a lot faster than credit terms allow. So they can pay, you know, payroll on Friday or pay their suppliers. And that doesn't even factor in, you know, investing more in the business to help it grow. Now they do have a lot of options available, traditional options, lines of credits, credit cards, and invoice factoring in some cases. The issue with these options is that they have to go through a lot of effort and they take a lot of time. So you have to put a bunch of stuff together for the banks. It might take weeks or months to facilitate some sort of a credit line. So the size of this market, it can be quite large. So 95% of the world's businesses, they say, are small businesses or sole proprietors. And so if you guys look at the supply chain financing market up there, North America alone is over $50 billion market. And then the B2B payments side, which you guys have heard big names on that side, is over $80 billion North American market. So what we're providing as a solution is earned revenue access. That's my claim to fame. And what it effectively means is we want to give people access to their earned revenue right away, as quick as the same day. What we've put together from a technology perspective is working capital solution with an end-to-end transaction workflow that results in cash flow with a lot of velocity. So same day, next day, depending on approval. And really what we're doing there is getting small businesses to participate in the capital markets. Like we're talking, individuals that are running their businesses out of a pickup truck or a home office. They won't have the capacity or the time to apply for a facility from a banking institution. So we trialed this out for the last year and a half, using funds from ourselves, whatever that we could scrape together, and we had good traction. And I'm going to speed this along here, getting the signal. So this is what we're raising, $1.5 million, and that'll be used to build out a team. So if you know any good tech people, please let me know, to bring this product to market.
Love it, thank you. I come from a small business background where we were incredibly slow at paying our bills. So I'm part of the problem. I'd love to hear, where's the money come from? How do you guys do that?
That's a good question. So, like I said, we want to get financial institutions plugged into this. So it'll be large banks, any institutional capital that comes into it. So to start quickly, we'll be facilitating that. So we'll bring in large funds, upwards of, we'll probably want to start with a $10 million fund and then expand that further and further, and buy the cost of that down, and then plug them in, and then eventually we want to actually make it so that it's a marketplace effectively where people can, institutions can come in and say, okay, I can park $30 million, $20 million here at a really good return for a 6-month period. And then all of a sudden we've given that to small businesses all over the world, I guess.
Yeah, it's a safe return that's secured with their revenue.
Yeah, and that's really the key of it, is that there is an asset backing it.
Very cool. So your revenue, I know we skipped over it because we were in a rush, but it tells a compelling story. So how are you growing out your team to sort of match that growth?
So the team growth will, we're gonna really stand on the shoulder of giants, leverage our network, and get as many people in as possible. So obviously we want to get really talented people, and the way we're going to sell them on it, perhaps with one of those loan payment programs, but full flexibility, not just having dogs at the office, but you could be anywhere in the world. I'm happy where you work as long as you're producing for the company, and that's really what I care about.
Airbnb style, I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you very much.
Excellent. Well, we are finally here at our last batch of people, companies that are going to present. But before we get there, we're going to have one more. Mo Aladdin is going to be answering, doing the questions this time. He's been a small business guy. He's ran a $35 million business. He gets it. He understands it. He tells it like it is. He's not full of shit. And we're also going to have a big shout out to where we are right now, and they're a partner of us. We love what they do. They're giving us this stage to many other people as well to put it on there. So Platform's been a big supporter, and they're going to be a big supporter of everything going forward with TNT and a lot of things. And I'll let Audra Stevenson tell you guys a little bit about Platform. Audra.
Hi, everybody. It's so nice to see so many beautiful humans in one place. It still gets me very excited. So I'm Audra. I'm an advisor with Platform Calgary. You're in my house. Welcome. Yeah, it's a great house to be in. So Platform, what do? We are all about supporting founders hitting their milestones. So we do that through community events, we do that through programming, and we're doing that most importantly right now through physical space. So we're going to be opening to the public on June 1st. Very exciting. There's going to be a lot of parties that everyone will be invited to. But most importantly, we're having over 65 partners in this space. That's investors, supporters, pillar partners, legal, accountants, anyone you could possibly need to build your business will be all in one place. So you can come in the front door, say, help me, and we'll figure out where to put you. So that's platform in a nutshell. But what's even more important is these next companies are also community builders. So we've got Mastrius, which is a mentorship marketplace for the world's creatives, growing artists to find success and support by connecting their choice of master creative mentor. And we are also going to hear from 10 Adventures, a global adventure travel marketplace. So people are connecting each other, and I think that's just the most wonderful, beautiful thing we can do. So first up is Mike, CEO of Mastrius from Cochrane. Mike, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. Great to see you here today. As mentioned, I'm Mike DeBoer, CEO of Mastrius. Mastrius was inspired by my personal journey, where after 20 years as a solo and unaccomplished weightlifter, I joined a strongman training group. And for the first time in my lifting career, I had feedback from experts and a community of peers. In 4 years, I was titled Western Canada's Strongest Man, all because of experts and community. And just like I was stuck at my DIY ceiling, there were over 200 million painters and photographers, digital artists and dancers, songwriters and chefs who are stuck at their DIY ceiling. They desperately want to get better today, but they can't afford to take years to get a degree, or they're too afraid to travel across the country to take a workshop with their hero. And there's over 5 million craft masters who long to give back of a lifetime of experience, but they need someone to make it easy and profitable and personal for them. So we've created our mentorship marketplace where growing creatives get upskilled by purchasing, now this is the tongue twister, by purchasing a monthly membership monthly membership for mentorship with the master of their choice. Now say that 3 times fast. They join a small group of peers just like them and meet monthly over video conference, and these groups can meet for as long as they wish. And because this creator economy is so huge, we've started in the niche vertical of fine art painting. Now, our differentiator is our unique combination of live feedback from an expert and a curated group of peers. And what these bottom left-hand quadrant companies have discovered, the pre-recorded training companies have discovered, is that personalized interactivity is the holy grail to customer retention. We've solved the personalization problem, the retention problem. Our cohort retention analysis shows that negative churn begins at the 9-month mark, giving us the coveted smiling retention curve. Our members come for the expert and stay for the community. In the 18 months since launch, we've had remarkable growth. GMV is now 500,000. We have 3x annual growth rate, 450 memberships, 70 master artists from all over the continent join us. And to grow the mentorship marketplace for the world's creatives, our next step is funded by a $1.5 million investment, allowing us to grow to 4 million GMV. With this, we'll expand the audience for our public-facing live events and become the go-to brand for fine art painters. We'll also launch our second vertical of photography. I invite you to join us as we unlock access to the world's craft masters, taking advantage of global acceptance of video conference to ensure that nobody travels alone on their creative journey. Any questions, Mo?
Mike, that's great. Really, really, as a failed artist, I can really appreciate this a lot.
Well,
you know, but I've
you got
got
need Mastrius.
I
Failed
certainly
no
do.
more.
I need more than that, but let's just talk about Mastrius. 3 serious questions. Fun. First one is, Kanye an unappreciated artist, or is it a wacko?
Pass.
Okay. I think that's a good answer. Okay, that's a good answer. No, you and I have know each other a little bit, got to know each other. So how does this expand to a lot of money for the investors? Because that's what I think one of the questions I think people want to know is like, okay, I get this, I love the community part. How do you expand this?
Absolutely, absolutely. So what we've created here is an organically curating, organically replicating community. Our business model has, in each group, we have a 10th person, we call them a navigator. That person is a community curator assigned to that group. And what happens is they're initially a member, and if they show facilitation, community curation skills, we tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, how about, instead of being a buyer, how about you be a seller? How about you own a group and you navigate that group so that the model transfers organically, and then that navigator taps the next person on the shoulder, and so 10% of our community have side switched, and so these artists are now making money. Right. Sergio from Ecuador is navigating 3 groups.
Wow.
We are his bread and butter income. He makes art. He had a recent piece go in the presidential palace there, and we fund him to be a full-time artist.
The last question is, so what do you need the money for? Just to clarify, I saw that there's some expansion, but I think investors want to know, what is the money for?
Absolutely. So our public-facing live events, so these are weekly, in fact, my co-founders are hosting our weekly one here today, have a 13% conversion rate. We need to drive more traffic to these and get them in front of the world's audience. So advertising campaigns, Google Ads, audience lives on Instagram, and so getting in front of them in that space.
Awesome job, Mike. Well done.
All right. Okay, our next community builder is 10 Adventures, a global adventure travel marketplace connecting local tour operators in 75 countries with an audience of 1.5 million adventure travelers all over the world. And our next presenter is Richard, who is the CEO from Calgary. Richard, the floor is yours.
Thanks, everybody. It's great to be here today. We're an adventure travel marketplace, so we're the fun part of travel. We have some really great traction. Just last month, we started to go at a $1 million annualized sales rate. Last month, we also hit 5 times sales growth just in 6 months. We've also built a big audience of adventure travelers, and we're getting a lot of press right now as well. And I think the reason this is happening is because people have spent the pandemic realizing how important travel is in their lives. And they don't want to travel in a bus and go, city to city. They want to do these bucket list trips where they're exploring the world, meeting different cultures, going to Machu Picchu, the Galapagos, Africa. The problem they're finding is it really sucks to book these trips. You can either, book a scheduled group trip, and if you've ever been on one, these are really high risk, depending on who else is going to be on the trip. Or you can do it yourself, but this takes a ton of time. It's really laborious to go and figure out all the little tricks to get your trip booked. What we do is we make this easy. So we start by, first of all, we only do adventures. So we have real depth in this field. But because we're a global marketplace, we have buyers and sellers in 75 countries. So we're not just, a Calgary or an Alberta company. We make it super easy by giving each customer their own adventure concierge, which means help is always just one click or one call away. When people go to make their bookings, they have the option. They can still book a group tour if that's what they want. But what most people want right now is they want to have a private tour, have a tour with the people they care most about. And the reason they can afford that is because essentially they're getting wholesale pricing. They're booking directly with local tour operators all around the world, so they can kind of travel like a VIP. When they do book a private trip, they can also customize it, so they can get exactly the trip they want, not just the trip someone else has developed for them. We make our money like all marketplaces. We take a commission on every transaction. What's nice is we have big transaction values, and this means they're big commissions. So we don't need to have 1 million transactions to make money. We can get cash flow positive on hundreds of transactions. In terms of where we're going financially, the beauty of a marketplace is that once it starts working, once you start getting consistent transactions between buyers and sellers, it's really, really beautiful because the marginal cost of each additional transaction is very low. Where we are right now is we have regular transactions happening. So we've kind of summited the first mountain of building a marketplace. Our focus now is how do we get more transactions? And you do this by increasing the number of users and then working on conversion rate, both of which are much easier problems to solve compared to try and getting actual transactions to occur. Making this all work, we've got a great team that stretches across Canada. For my background, I've actually been a key part of a really successful UK marketplace. Prior to 10 Adventures, I grew a really good consulting company here in Calgary, so I feel like there's some proof of my competency just in my experience. What we're doing is we're looking to raise a tranche of a $2 million seed round, $400,000. And we're hoping to raise that here with Western Canadian investors, because Calgary's at a really great time with technology, and we're also an adventure capital in the world. And so we need to have more technology companies coming out of Calgary who understand the adventure part of where we live. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Hey Richard, how are you doing?
Good, Mo.
The only reason I like this program is because he's got good hair, just like but that's, so I've got a couple of questions for you. One is, how do you vet the adventurers? How do you validate the people there?
Oh, that's really interesting. No one's ever asked that. They always ask, how do you vet the tour suppliers?
Yes.
So adventures, so a big aspect when someone makes a booking is we're really clear what the trip entails. We have difficulty levels. We go down, like, what's the day-to-day, so they can understand, if it's a really hard hiking or cycling trip. Honestly, we haven't had an issue with the adventurers, and maybe that's just because we communicate so much in terms of the level of difficulty of these trips.
Great. And in terms of, you've got acquisition of new customers, and then the retention. So tell me, speak a little bit about acquisition part, and how you, what kind of metric do you have for retaining these customers, and are they upping again and again and again?
Yeah, so this is really exciting. This week we had our first customer, first booking, where the person even said, oh, a friend recommended you. So that's, great that we got recommendation. Also, we've had lots of repeat bookings. We had one just a couple of days ago. So, we know we're doing something right when people are coming back. We just launched pre-pandemic, but, we have people that are booked last year and are coming back. The way we acquire customers is organic. And so what's kind of cool is we've done all this without, pretty much any advertising. This is just building a product that people need. We do a lot of content marketing, so score really high in Google, give people what they want, build a relationship with them, and then when they want to go book a tour, they have a relationship already with us.
Fantastic. And I know that there's lots of volunteers to go vet those places, so if you need volunteers, we're all ready to go to these places.
Excellent, great. Well, we do have one last little treat for you, and we're gonna kind of just build it up a little bit, because this person's never pitched on stage here anyway. I can't speak for that. He won a virtual event, he's raised some money, falls into, he probably should talk to Anthony here a little later. We had a few beers at the Saskatoon at the UP conference. He's a nationally ranked badminton player. I still think I could take him. There's some money on the line that's going to happen here. I only have to get 3 points. But till then, we will see what John Minchin from Spot Dog Walker can come on down and tell a little bit about his company and where he has gone and where he is going.
Hello everybody, my name's John Minchin, and I am the founder of Spot Dog Walking. And Spot is a true on-demand dog walking app that guarantees walker arrival in under 90 minutes or the walk is free. We've done 90,000 walks to date, $1.8 million in revenue, and our margins are 26%. With the explosion of dog ownership from the pandemic, we've combined with all of these new dog owners returning to work, we've more than doubled our revenue since September, and last month increased our revenue by 35% from $34,000 to $47,000. We're growing faster than we ever have, and all of our core metrics are moving in the right direction. We pride ourselves on being the safest, easiest, and by far most reliable dog walking solution on the market. So, we keep our customers' dogs safe with private, on-leash, GPS-tracked walks and insured background check walkers. We've designed a booking experience that's incredibly simple to use, where booking a dog walk looks and feels very similar to booking an Uber. What we do is schedule our walkers ahead of time and then use algorithms to automatically connect customers with walkers upon request to eliminate customer wait time. Let me show you how it works. So once the customer enters the specifics of their walk request, our scheduling algorithms go to work. And as you can see, searching for, connecting you to, and then boom, there's the list of available walkers. From here, all the customer has to do is select the walker of their choice and set it and forget it. Very simple. We also have live walk reporting with photos, short story form videos, and our walk maps even show if and exactly where a dog did their business. From a reliability perspective, there's really nothing that comes close to Spot. We haven't failed to supply a customer with a walker upon request in more than 60,000 walk requests. So think, booking an Uber, always a car. We haven't had a walker no-show in more than 3 years. And if a Spot dog walker is late for a walk, any walk, even 1 minute late, that walk is free. But we're currently doing only about a handful of late arrivals per 1,000 walks. Works every time, very reliable. While we have the funding and the runway to grow to $100,000 in monthly revenue within the next 10 months, we're raising a bridge round so that we can hire a few more employees, almost double our marketing budget, grow faster, and really optimize for that next round of financing. So, if you're at all interested, we're raising $250,000 at a $5 million valuation, which is just under 9 times annualized revenue. Thank you.
Good job, John. I knew you'd crush it just like you did before. So, how do you find such reliable dog walkers?
Experience. You try not to make the same mistake too many times, but primarily our dog walkers are mature adults, usually dual income, spouse works, they don't work, or retired, semi-retired. Students, they don't work. Unreliable.
How many walks have you personally done?
I did about 450 dog walks in the early days before our systems could reliably balance supply and demand through a couple freezing cold Calgary winters, 20 bucks of gas at a time, that's all I could afford. Doing customer support on my phone, I could barely afford gloves. So I've been there, I've been in the trenches. Also, through COVID, had to bring the company down to just me, burn as little as possible, like $5,000, $6,000 a month for 20 months straight. You know, the optimist in me as a founder, I'm like, come on, 3 more months, 2 more months, this stuff is over, doesn't matter, but didn't work, 20 months. So the dedication is there.
That's one of the most impressive things I've ever seen from a startup, and being in this world here for about 8 years is what you were able to accomplish to come down, because it's not easy to go from $50,000 MRR and then bring it down to a little bit under 5 and then do what you did. So the kudos to you, and that's what impressed a lot of the investors and a lot of the people that believe in you. So now, your big audacious goal, how quick are you gonna get there?
Well, the big audacious goal, I'm gonna do this for my entire career, so I mean, I'm thinking 4 decades. I just want to build a multi-generational, multi-billion-dollar company. I'm not going to quit. I haven't. I would have if I was going to. And we're in pets. If we can gain the trust of pet owners, we can do a lot of things with this brand in decades 2, 3, 4, and so on. So my big audacious goal is pretty long-term.
Awesome. Great job, John, and we're glad to be along with the ride.
Thank you.
Okay, that wraps it up. What an amazing group of founders we have here in Calgary. It's consistently impressive. Let's hear a round of applause for that. That was amazing. I had a great time. So when I have startup TNT investors, it doesn't get much harder than that, trying to whittle down that field from that to an eventual winner on June 23rd. It's going to be a tough challenge, and it's welcome to see the quality companies that are coming through our ecosystem. So, like, startup TNT is positioned early in the sort of company maturity phase at the pre-seed and seed stage, and this is really a stage that we could use some community help with, that is underserved in terms of capital going into the system, and it's a really exciting place to be, as you can see tonight. So what I want to encourage everybody here to do as we sort of close out the night is to engage in the community. You don't need to have a bunch of money. You don't need to have anything other than a great attitude. There's some killer founders out here that you could probably support financially. There's some killer founders that you could support non-financially. You can talk to them, introduce them to a friend of yours that's in their field, introduce them to somebody you know that's elsewhere, or just have a coffee with them, and those kind of meaningful connections are what really drives a great ecosystem like we have here in Calgary. So I just want to encourage everybody to do that. Here at Platform Calgary here tonight, we're going to hang out till about 9 o'clock. If anybody wants to wet their whistle after that, we're going to go to James Joyce after. And we got a few thank yous to say too, I think. Hey, Jade?
Absolutely. We've got not only are we running this here, we have we're doing it live in Saskatoon, live in Edmonton, and we're streaming it at 3 other locations. To make that happen, there's so many people behind the scenes. Jocelyn, who's not here, who programmed all 3 of these events live to go. We've got Dom and BB. Where are they up there? Give a big wave.
Stand up, BB.
We're
Stand
BB
up,
over
Dom.
here. Thank you. Right? They could not have run out there to make sure everything goes smoothly, make sure everything is great. We also have some beer sponsors, someone who always wants to get his name mentioned. Adrian Mitchell's supplying some beer tonight, so thank you, Adrian.
Give it away, Adrian.
And last but not least, we will be going to James Joyce's after 9. We'll have some pizza coming here, thanks to Jason from Matador. But also every Thursday, Startup TNT, it's Thursday night tradition. We're here to network, we're here to build companies, we're here to make friends and have fun. So if you can't make it tonight, or you can't make it next Thursday, the Thursday after, we'll be there. It doesn't matter. Come out, shake some hands, meet some people, and that's how we build a community, and that's how these startups grow, and that's how we grow. So thank you to everybody, all of our sponsors, and especially to you guys, the startups. Without you, we would not have this community. So thanks for pitching tonight, and let's go have a few drinks.
Yeah, thanks for coming, everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you.